Let me know if you see anything.
Yep, I see your sugars.
I do too.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey Megan, thanks a lot for the intro. Michelle, Ahmed, thanks a lot for joining and for your interest. So a little bit of background on this is we've been working with tech advisors for a while, and we've been informed recently that you guys had interest in our product, and you wanted to see a quick demo, what it looks like, and then the functionality and what it does.
Yep.
Okay, cool. What do you guys, before I dive in, a little bit of background on the company, do you guys have a team of sales guys, account managers, and support people who talk to people every day?
We do. The only people that use sugar for us are the account managers and the 2 salespeople.
Awesome. Okay, great. So, and then Michelle, you are in account management, is that correct?
Yes, yep.
Awesome.
And
And then
I'm the
Ahmed?
sugar admin too. So.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, well, let's get started. I'll keep this relatively high level. I'm happy to go over any functionality or value props later on. And what I'll do is I'll run Viabl through for you, and then I'll show you the major use cases and how a typical account manager or salesperson can benefit from the tool.
Perfect.
Right.
Awesome. So you're obviously all pretty familiar with the sugar list view, and obviously if you have questions along the way, feel free to hop in. Happy to kind of answer on the spot. So I assume, Michelle, you and your team mostly operate in the account list view. It could be contacts or leads or opportunities.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, for us, we really built Viabl for our sugar customers, and in the last 2 years, teamed up with partners like tech advisors to offer it to their customers as well. Here you'll see the list view of Viabl, and typically, if you're a sales guy or account manager and you have to make X number of calls or send emails every day, what is valuable is being able to have those conversations, or at least be able to document it for either whether it's commission purposes or for the managers or directors of the team to look at what we've done every day. Based on our experience in sugar, I mean, it's great for a number of functionality, but what's kind of poor is in sugar, they really have no way to have shortcuts for these post-call activities, like we like to call them. And these post-call activities can be a variety of activities, right? It could be leaving a voicemail for the customer. It could be, logging a call, logging a meeting, whatever you call it. It could be setting up a new meeting, or even logging a task. So these buttons are functions of Viabl, and they can be fully configured in the Viabl platform based on how your team likes to how they like to operate. So what I mean by that is every account that has a Viabl setup in it will have a way to log and configure these buttons inside of Viabl. And I'll show you a quick use case of how Viabl can be used. So let's say I have a call today with Union Bank, and I actually have a conversation with them. And instead of having to go into the record view and having to log a call or activity, and I'm assuming you guys currently already do this in your current sugar setup, is that correct?
Yeah, I use it I use CollabSpot with my Gmail.
Sure.
And with CollabSpot, you're able to create these on the fly, but that's just me. I don't think anybody else uses CollabSpot besides maybe Mark.
No, I actually use CloudSpot too. It's a great tool. They're good friends of ours, and they have a really tight, email integration with Sugar.
Yep.
So how we like to use them is, for here, let's say you had a call with Union Bank and you had a successful call. What you'll do is you'll click on this button. You can quickly say the subject, right? Call with John. Description could be demo product. And all you have to do is click save, and this call will automatically be created and logged in the instance. In the record. So if you go into the record view, you'll be able to see this call logged for the particular conversation. Let me scroll down real quick. So this is done. Its status is being held, and what's powerful is once that's done, you can see here that there's another column that we like to share, and it's titled Last Contacted. And what this column does, it will show the account manager or the salesperson, when and how long ago was this account contacted. So we do a color code display just for pure simplicity. It's red, yellow, and green. And obviously, if they have not been contacted, there's no data, and it'll say not contacted. And obviously, you can filter based on number of days since last contacted, and all of these buttons are also fully configurable in Viabl right here based on how you want to set up the date ranges. So we understand that maybe for account management, if you choose to use this feature, it might be a little bit longer, but for sales or maybe for business development reps, it might be shorter just because you probably want to reach out to the leads much faster. And these are all configurable based on the module that you want to configure these buttons for.
And I assume that I can, from the sales side, I can just sort those by, so I get all the green ones or red ones or whatever the orange ones. So, for instance, if green is most recently contacted and I want to go through there, I can just, okay, perfect. Okay.
That's a great question. Yeah, and the value here is, I don't know about you, but for me or for most sales guys, if you have a ton of contacts, it's kind of hard to keep track of them sometimes. Right, so the value here is you'll be able to see which ones you haven't reached out to in a long time, and you probably want to work backwards from that list. But yes, to your point, you can sort by last contacted, day since contacted, and that'll give you a range because these buttons, to be quite frank with you, are pulled in from this data, right?
Okay.
And these date ranges, but yes, good question.
And then could it be separated where, for instance, if I wanted to do say like one color for email and then like another color for calls, like is it just 3 or is there like 4? I'm just curious if I could separate calls versus email. Like,
yeah, that's a good question. Today Viabl does not. Viabl kind of gives you a high level of when you last contacted them.
okay.
And that's a combination of last call, email, last call, voicemail, or whatever physical conversation, or it's the email. So, but I mean, if you guys, we can also log this as a feature request, right? If this is very, very important to your business, then we can consider having 2 separate interface. Have one column for last contacted phone and one column saying last contacted email, and that should not be too hard to build as well.
Okay. So would that, I mean, could that be done as a regular, or would that be something kind of like custom we got to do?
That'd be custom.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Wait, go ahead.
Oh, I just said, yeah, that would be custom.
Yes.
Okay, that's no problem. I just was curious. Okay, thank you.
No, these are all great questions. Keep asking. So last contacted refers to, when you last talked to the customer. Obviously, if it's a quick, left the voicemail, most people don't even bother doing this, but it's important, right? You don't want to go into the record and having to create a activity just because you hopped on the phone with them. But with Viabl, it's a simple one-click button, and it'll show up automatically into the record view. The same can be done with setting a meeting. Let's say you actually had a meaningful conversation with 360 Vacations or Union Bank, you guys should go ahead and set a meeting, and you can put in the subject, description, and then the date that you want to talk to them, and that will also be created in your meetings view, in your record view. So,
but now you can't add attendees, and like that can't be your calendar invite, right?
it's not. Those two are different. And lastly, I don't know if your team currently uses email templates, Michelle or Ahmed.
I've played with them before. Right now, we currently don't, but not to say we don't want to.
Yeah, it's something that I think that we, on the sales end, I think we'd like to maybe start doing. I know I would like to play around with it. So, what do you got?
Cool. So I think it's a great tool to have. I'll be honest with you, most of our customers don't actually use this because they don't enjoy sending emails in Sugar. But with that said, some of them do. Some of them have pre-configured email templates inside of Sugar. So for example, you're able to sync buttons that you have in Viabl with specific email templates. And if that's the road that you guys do want to go down in the near future, once you have those email templates populated, we could link those buttons to those templates, and you can send emails with one click as well.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's good to have. It's not important to do if that's not part of your business, but it's a good shortcut to have once you do choose to go down that route. With that said, Viabl today is offered in the most used modules for a AM sales guy or a support guy. It's available in accounts. It's available, these same buttons and setup is fully available and configurable for contacts, leads, and opportunities. So depending on how you use Sugar and how you choose to operate, most of our people use the account list view for call purposes or tracking purposes, but a handful of people obviously choose to work and live within leads or opportunities, and these buttons are fully configurable based on fully configurable in the Viabl app based on what module you choose to work in. And what we do is we like to sit down with your team. Let's say you guys choose to start using Viabl in the near future. What we'll do is we will include a quick onboarding session, kind of sit down with your team and evaluate how you guys currently log activities inside of your Sugar CRM, which teams do you want this to be available for, and how to configure it. And what we'll do is we'll do all the setup and configuration for free, so that way you guys can start using it right away.
Okay.
And just bear in mind, in the near future, obviously for Viabl, we make constant improvements and updates. In the next month or two, we'll also have another column that will be a score. So instead of only having the color, we'll have a score, let's say 50. It's on a scale from 0 to 100. And what that score will tell you is what is the relationship score for that account. And that score is primarily useful for not only each individual in the organization, but also more importantly, I guess for management to kind of see, hey, ever since we implemented this new process, the score has gone up for all of our accounts, and they're healthier and they've been touched more often. And that may be because you have more time freed up with tools like Viabl or CollapseBot that allows you to kind of spend more time talking to the customers. So that's going to be coming up. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up, right?
Okay.
It's not available today, but we obviously constantly make improvements to our product, and we also incorporate our customers' feedback as well.
So how do those improvements get pushed out to us? Is there just like Sugar, there's periodic upgrades
Updates.
or?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So whenever that comes out, what we'll do is we'll say, hey, look, Michelle, Viabl 1.6.7 is rolling out. Do you want to upgrade? If you do, here are the improvements, right?
Oh,
Or you can
yep.
say, hey, look, I don't want to touch anything right now. Everything is going well.
Yep.
Upgrade whenever you want, right?
And
Yeah.
are those the
Mhm.
last contacted? Obviously, since it's a field in sugar now, I'd imagine it's reportable. So I could create a
That's up.
report for these guys to say, you know, for all the ones that haven't been contacted, and I could have that auto-generated and kind
That's
of in a way
absolutely.
have it be a task manager. Okay.
That's absolutely right. That's the whole purpose. We want viable, since all viable fields, especially ones that have numerical dates and numbers associated with it, they're fully reportable in Sugar. So it's a good tool to have. Sorry, it's not a good tool. It's a good best practice to report on those fields if you
Yeah.
choose to kind of say, hey, look, here's what you need to do, or here are the guys, maybe the 20 most out-of-date contacts. Let's talk
Yeah.
to them. Yep.
Yeah. That's one
Yep.
thing we struggle with is
Yeah.
a task manager, something like more like task notifications, because
Exactly.
Sugar really doesn't do a good job with having any notifications for tasks that you put in there. They do somewhat with Collab Spot, like a list
Right.
that'll pop up, but I know that that's some of the reason why half of my guys don't even use it, because it doesn't
Yep.
ever remind them to do what they need to do. So
No.
Okay.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And I mean that's why we built Viable, to be honest with you. Our customers they enjoy Sugar for X, Y, and Z, but they want to increase user adoption. People wanna use it, right? You buy this expensive product, you want to
yeah,
use it, but you want to make it easier for your team to kind of use it
yeah,
as well. I definitely get what you're saying.
yeah.
So that concludes a high-level overview of the product. I don't want to be mindful of your time, and obviously be happy to actually answer any other questions you may have.
Okay.
Um, but I think you've seen the product. I think you came in through maybe one of our partner email outreach, or whether it's
Mhm.
the ROI calculator or whatever it might be. But yeah, wanted to obviously hear any feedback or any other questions that
So
you might
who do
have.
we talk to about pricing? What does pricing run for this?
You would talk to either tech advisors or
Okay.
us, depending on how Megan wants to handle this. Because in the past, since you guys are TAI
Yeah.
customers,
Yep.
we'll obviously we could work through them. Or if you have any questions on the pricing, you can relay that to Megan, and Megan can reach out to me, or you can contact me directly. Whatever you guys
Okay.
feel comfortable doing.
All right. I'll let
Um,
Megan. Megan, you can
yeah,
let
I
me
can
know.
I can talk to you about that right now, actually.
Okay.
So Viabl's priced out by number of users as a block. So
Okay.
it's priced out as 10, 25, 50, or 100. I
Okay.
think you guys are right now under 10 for sugar, so you'd be on that lowest tier, and that's
Okay.
$250 a month. So it'd be $3,000 annually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a for us, we believe it's a small investment to make in order to improve the operations of your customers, of your teammates, and obviously as you guys scale in your sugar users, you can scale with Viable too. But we're not going to force anything upon you if nobody's using it, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Cool.
All right. I think I'm good. Unless Ahmed, you have any questions?
No, I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I got most of my questions kind of answered early. So yeah, it was good. It was good. Definitely, helpful and insightful on what can be had and sugar that some areas that we're definitely looking to improve upon.
Right.
Very good.
Great.
Okay, well, we'll get the video out to you, and I'll check in with you, Michelle, later this week.
Okay.
Feel free to follow up with myself or Mike if any other questions come up. Otherwise, I'll get you back on your own time.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Appreciate
All
it,
right.
guys. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks a lot,
Absolutely. Have a
Megan.
good afternoon.
Thanks, guys.
You too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.